Hey everyone, welcome to the Bark Night Podcast, where we shine a spotlight on the world of film and TV through news, reviews, and in-depth discussions. On today's 60th episode, we'll be talking about our top 10 favorite movies from 2023. Be sure to follow, like, or leave a rating wherever you're listening. It really helps keep the reels turning. So, like I said, we're doing the top 10 favorite movies of 2023. Bit of a disclaimer at the beginning of this list. It is a list of our favorite movies, not necessarily what we think are the best movies. Those are two different lists. So, hopefully, the other two guys built it that way because if they did it wrong.
Yeah. Number one is a movie I haven't seen, actually, but it's got great reviews.
Yeah, right. There's like a bit of a balancing act between those two things when we do these because it being a better movie does sway your opinion, but sometimes you know a movie's better, but like you just love this movie, you know?
Yeah.
That does happen. So with all that being said, this is all opinion based and we'll be starting at the top of the list, so with number 10 and finishing with number 1, our favorite, and then we'll be jumping into some honorable mentions. So
I'm ready.
Yeah. Which one of you guys want to kick us off?
I'll dive in. I'll go first if that's okay with everyone.
Let's hear it.
All right. So at my number 10 was a movie that I had to readjust my whole list for because I went back and watched it again after seeing it initially when it came out in 2023 and then not seeing it again until this last weekend because I wanted to give it another watch because I liked it, but I just couldn't get my head around it. And that is The Boy and the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki. I'm bad with that name. I'm sorry. If I butchered that, I apologize. He's part of Studio Ghibli, which is like the Japanese version of like Disney. They put out some great animated features. And this movie is a story about a young boy who he's lost his mother, classic, animated movie fare. And he tries to go into this other world to get back his stepmother or his soon-to-be stepmother who's gone missing. And it's hand-drawn animation. It is beautifully done. And at first, like I kind of bounced off it, I'll be honest with you, because it's not an easy watch. Like it's got some heavy themes there. But you can see from it being a PG-13 rated animated film, you don't see too many of those. But yeah, it's just great. The American voice cast is fantastic. Robert Pattinson's in there, Willem Dafoe, all kinds of great actors whose names I'm blanking on right now. I should have wrote them all down, but it's just really good, and that's why it's going to come in at my number 10. I, again, had to rearrange this whole list because I watched it again this weekend, and I'm like, I got to bring that movie up because I think it's something special, but it is not an easy watch as like some might think it'd be. It's like you're not going to go see a Disney movie if you're going to watch this movie. It's much more in depth than that.
I have a lot to say on this movie, and
Perfect.
I will keep it shut because it's later on in my list. Much later on.
All right.
Much later on. But it's beautiful. I love this movie.
Absolutely. I love the hand-drawn animation. Like you don't see that too much anymore. It just looks so good. I wish they would get more of these movies out in theaters.
Amen.
I have never seen this movie.
Oh,
Most animated, so.
Yeah. Nobody's surprised.
It's a fantastic one. Yeah. I'll hold my tongue until I bring it up. It'll be later on in my list. Yeah.
I will as well because I know nothing about it.
Have you watched any of the Studio Ghibli movies at all?
I saw The Cat Returns.
Okay.
Not Whisper of the Heart?
I don't know what
My
that
Neighbor
is.
Totoro.
Whisper of the Heart is the first, and then The Cat Returns is the second. So you saw the sequel and not the... Okay.
I don't think you knew that.
I didn't know that, no.
Yeah.
And my disclaimer to the conversation is that Sarah wanted to watch it, and I'd be willing to bet she's seen it. She's seen a lot of those. She's seen Howl's Moving Castle. She's seen just a lot of those. She's much more into those things. And my investment in watching The Cat Returns wasn't so that I was going to be pleased. It was so she was going to be. But no, she did not preface it that it was a sequel. And that does make sense, because there were things that I was like, feels like there's some backstory here that I'm not picking up.
Well, bring this one up to her and see what she thinks. I think she might have seen it if she's a fan of this type.
Probably.
I'll go next.
Okay.
My number 10 is probably the second or first most grossing movie of the year, and that's the Super Mario Brothers movie. I loved this movie. I know it's not good, and objectively, I think I've seen this movie more than I've seen any other movie on the list because my daughter just watches it on repeat over and over again. But it's a joy. It's, Chris Pratt, who does a passable job as Mario. Anna Joy Taylor, who is Peach, and she does a great job as Peach. I really liked Charlie Day's Luigi, Jack Black's Bowser, Keegan Mike and Key's Toad was great too. Did not love Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong and Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong, but I'll get over that. I think it was a fun movie. It's not something that in 10 years I'll look back on and think, man, this is like classic, but animation was really good. I think it's a fun take on the Super Mario universe. The idea of having these like race cars involved was good. It made $1.3 billion across the globe, which is a crazy amount of money.
It's a lot of coins.
Yeah, that's the power of Mario, I guess. And this movie, there's a sequel coming out later this next year, but I think it's great. It was a slam dunk for me. I saw it in the theaters once and have seen it about 50 times streaming because of my daughter. So yeah, had to include it on here.
Yeah, I agree with that. That movie is a super good time, super fun watch, as you said. You go in there, you're not expecting Citizen Kane. You're expecting just to have a good time with characters you know that you've grown up with pretty much. So yeah, it does that very well.
You're expecting Citizen Kong.
I mean, the next sequel.
Yeah, that's the next sequel. That's great.
So I don't know how different our lists are going to be from each other, but I have, in fact, not seen this movie either.
Okay. You're starting off over 2, but that's all right. It's a big year. It was a lot of movies this year.
Yeah.
Well, and that is the interesting thing about this, is that it is so recent. You know, this is just 2 years ago, that when we talk about 1993...
You had how long to watch those movies?
You have a long time to watch these movies. And 2 years later, I still haven't gotten around to Super Mario Brothers. So, that's interesting.
Pencil it in.
Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe that'll be like a holiday movie or something.
Be a great one.
Roll it in while I got my nephews in town or something.
Perfect, yeah.
You don't have to pay super attention to it. Like, if you miss a couple plot points, you'll be fine, I think.
They'll fill you in. It's not a close read.
Yeah, right. I guess that brings it to me.
It does.
So, my number 10 is a little horror thriller called Strange Darling.
Oh, nice.
Have you guys seen this movie?
I have not. I know of it.
No.
Yes.
I thought it was just last year, to be honest with you. I didn't know it was a 2023 movie.
That's how different our lists are here. So, it's a horror thriller type thing. It's directed by J.T. Mulner, who did the recent The Long Walk, which that fact alone makes me want to see The Long Walk, because this movie is so unique in its style. So it's got Willa Fitzgerald and it's got Kyle Gallner. You guys know who they are?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know Kyle Gallner, at least.
Willa Fitzgerald, she's been in a bunch of things. I swear to God, you would know her if you saw her. She's been in many, many things. But basically, it's about a one-night stand that spirals into a serial killer's vicious murder spree.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and it has a very, very, very unique style to it. But it's got like a unique color palette too. There's some scenes that are told in black and white. There's some scenes where like the entire scene is told with like red lights. It's very good and it's very unique, and it takes a lot of twists and turns because it also does this thing where it's kind of told out of sequence, and that results in things that you assume are going on earlier in the movie you find out later on are not quite what they seemed. And it's just honestly a very, very unique movie. Giovanni Ribisi is the cinematographer on it.
Really?
Yeah. And he does a great job. Great job. I didn't quite know what to expect going into this. And I remember kind of, like you say, not fully bouncing off it the first time I saw it, but being like, okay, that was not at all what I expected it to be, type of thing. But over time, over 2 years, the things that initially brought me to it have brought me back in post first watch, So I highly recommend you check this movie out because, like I say, it's just a very unique experience of a like horror thriller type thing.
All right.
And our two leads are phenomenal.
I haven't even heard of this movie, so that's great.
Yeah. He's brought it up before. I just didn't realize it was 2 years old already.
2 years.
Crazy.
Yep. I got a lot of horror on my list, so.
Yeah, I got a few myself. Like I said, I had to rearrange the list a little bit and hit a couple pop on and off a few times. But back to me then, I think, right?
Yep.
All right. And number 9, I have Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, which I know is kind of like, it's just a popcorn movie that is loosely based on maybe the most famous tabletop game there is. I very much wanted to make this into a franchise, and I don't think it hit the audience like it should have. But I enjoyed the crap out of it. Like, I had a good time watching it. I had just started D&D with my friends here when the movie came out, so I had a little bit of knowledge into it. You don't really need it for the movie. It does a great job of bringing the spirit of the game to it, with it being approachable. Me and my friends play the game. We just sit around the table, we tell a story, and we have fun. And that's what this movie does. It tells a story. It has fun. The cast is great. Chris Pine is great. I loved him as the bard. There's a scene where he does like a decoy and it starts melting. I've never heard my niece laugh so hard in her life at that scene. So it has a special place for that as well. Hugh Grant's in it. He's fantastic as like the smarmy villain as you expect him to be. And yeah, it's a fantasy comedy based on that IP, but you don't really need to know anything about the IP. Just go in there and just enjoy the nonsense because it's a good watch.
Yeah, I really like this movie. It's not on my list, but it is a fun watch, and the cast is great. Sophia Lillis is great in it too. The guy that plays, I don't know how to say his name, like Rajon Page.
Yes, the Paladin guy.
Yeah. He's good in this, but he's really good he was in another one that came out earlier this year. It was like a spy thriller, and he was really good in that. Black Bag.
Yeah, you like that movie a lot.
I liked that movie a lot.
Yeah.
It's going to make my top 10 for this year. That's why I was surprised I couldn't think of the name, because it was really good. It's like a nice, like, contained sort of small level thing, but yeah. Not to get off topic, but yeah, this movie's a lot of fun. We did watch this when my family was in town for, I think, Christmas that year. We all watched it as a family with my nephews. So
yeah, one other thing I was just going to say that I think it suffered from just the franchise fatigue that we all feel. Like, you see it come out, it's got the Dungeons and Dragons logo first, and you know they're trying to make it into a franchise. And some people are just like, I'm out, like, immediately on that.
Yeah.
So I think that is a thing.
Yeah. It also, I mean, I don't really know how much Chris Pine can lead a movie anymore. I think he's a really good, like, supporting actor, but they've been really trying to make him into like a leading actor type person. And he's great, but he's really good when he's playing with the cast. And when he's trying to lead it, I don't really know if he's that kind of box office darling anymore. I loved this movie. I thought it was great. It's just off my list, and it's a lot of fun. And I love the owlbear in it too. I thought the fight scenes were really fun. It just felt like I was playing a game of D&D. Yeah.
Exactly.
yeah.
So my number 9 is The Creator. This is a Gareth Edwards movie. Came out in 2023.
I hope so.
Yeah, exactly.
Came out
John
2023.
David Washington from Tenet, and Ken Watanabe is in it. Allison Janney is in it. I saw this on Hulu in 2023. I didn't see it in the theater. It released in like September of that year. Didn't make a lot of money, but it is a phenomenally shot and beautifully world-built movie. It's Gareth Edwards still doing what he has done in Star Wars, and now has brought it into this whole unique IP set in 2070 amid like a AI war after a nuclear fallout. And this guy, John David Washington, is trying to find the creator who has created this new AI weapon, and stumbles across like a childlike weapon who is this like simulant known as Alphys, like this big AI. And it's great. The action scenes are awesome. It is exactly what you expect from a sci-fi Star Wars influenced director. It's beautiful. It's visually striking, I think. It had some Oscar noms in it too. I really liked it. I don't know if it would even crack the top like 50 science fiction movies that I've seen, but it is definitely one of the more remarkable ones that have come out in the past like 5-ish years. It's great.
I have been meaning to give this one a watch for the longest time, but yet another one that I've not seen.
Same. I just went to the IMDb page to get my brain refreshed on it, and now I see the images. I'm like, I wanted to see that. I need to put this on high on the list to watch then.
It's great. It's really fun. I would recommend going into it as blind as possible. I saw so many trailers and it spoiled a bunch for me. And I knew that if I didn't have it spoiled, I would have really enjoyed this a lot more. And so go in as blind as possible and really just get taken by it. Ken Watanabe is just great to watch in anything, but his role in this is really, really great as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, I really like him, and I really like this director.
Yeah.
Did you see Monsters?
Yeah. Yep.
Monsters is so good. That's what got him his initial Godzilla gig that jump-started that whole franchise. Monsters is a great movie. I'm looking at his IMDb page right now, and I'm surprised
Rebirth.
Monsters has a 6.3, because I swear that's like at least a 7.6, but I digress.
This kind of went under the radar that year too. There were so many other kind of like giant movies that were occupying discourse. and the creator just like slipped in and slipped out very quickly, but it's worth a watch.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I'm gonna add that to my list.
Yep, I got my list going to the bottom here.
You're next.
All right. Your turn. So my next one is Evil Dead Rise.
Mm-hmm.
So I really, really, really like this movie. I remember when it first came out, there was a couple things I was like, well, I kind of wish they didn't do this or this and this. But holy hell, if this isn't a rewatchable movie.
Yeah.
Like now when I watch it, I take like basically zero issues with anything about it because it's just such a unique movie, and our leads in this are both really good. So you got Alyssa Sutherland and Lily Sullivan.
Yeah, stop.
Yeah. And then all the kids are great as well. And man, they are so ballsy with their kills in this movie. Lee Cronin really just goes for the fences. He's killing kids. He's killing most of the kills are kids, it seems like. The opening crawl where the title sequence there is one of my favorites still to this day. But yeah, fantastic movie. Big fan. Can't wait to see what he does with The Mummy.
Right. Well, taking the wind out of my sails as usual is Patrick, because my number
First
8.
double.
My number 8 was Evil Dead Rise as well. So everything you just said, echoing again, I wanted to bring up the opening scene shot of that cabin is just so very good. And it just gets you in the mood. And then it rolls from there, the classic, Evil Dead setting of a cabin to apartment complex, which we've never seen a movie like this in. I'm with you. Like, at first I was like, wait, why are you doing records? That's stupid. Now, I don't care about the records. Like, whatever.
I love the record.
Yeah, right? Initially, I thought it was stupid, but
that part of it, actually.
Initially, I thought it was stupid, but it grew on me. But yeah, great opening scene. The aspect of it being like family centric as opposed to like a group of friends at a cabin just adds to it. Alyssa Sutherland's fantastic, as you said. So yeah, I won't belabor it any longer. It's a great movie, and it's one I'd probably watch second most of any of these movies on my list from this year.
Yeah, I've watched this a lot, so I kind of struggle with putting it at 9.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Bonus, this is my number 8 too.
Really? That's hilarious.
I love this movie.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw
great.
it just this year. This is the first time I saw it this year in my 31 days of Halloween. It is fantastic. It's not only terrifying, it's a scary movie, but I also think it takes bold risks. I mean, the kills of all of the kids are just crazy, but the way in which they also just shoot some of the kills of the mother in the hallway, like that's just terrifying on its own. It takes a lot of great risks. It's really good. The scalping at the beginning of this movie is intense and violent and awesome, and everything about it, I think, from the initial like Evil Dead Rise title sequence all the way to the end, I was just ready for this movie, and it did not disappoint. It was great. I think this is what I wanted out of the first remake of it, right? Like, I think the first pulled a Force Awakens and was playing too close to the source material. This just takes it in a completely different direction, makes it feel a little bit more fresh and new and fun. I loved it.
Yeah. The irony of that is I kind of think that we only get this because of that, though,
Exactly. Yeah.
Because the Evil Dead fan base, much like many fan bases out there, are a fickle fan base.
Right.
And so I think going too far from that formula, because it does take a lot of risks with the visuals of that movie, and that one defined what the style of this franchise is going forward, where if you change all of that in one movie, maybe the fan base doesn't latch onto it the way they did. But I agree. Big fan of this one.
They dropped the camp way down and turned the horror way up.
Yeah.
So in the last 2 movies in this franchise, and like let's be honest, that a whole like the bathroom scene where like she comes back and does the whole "Mommies with the maggots" now. That's iconic. That's gonna be something people bring up for years and years.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then it's on to me, and my number 8 is American Fiction. Did we lose him? All right. Well, I'll just keep talking about this one because I bet Dan's not seen it. American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson, starring Jeffrey Wright, Sterling K. Brown, and Tracy Ellis Ross. Have you seen this, Paul?
I have not seen this. No.
It is very, very, very good. I was surprised by it because in the trailers and everything, it kind of plays as a comedy way more than it is. Like, it's definitely got those like comedic aspects to it, you know, where it's like it's kind of making fun of a lot of things about society, especially when it comes to Black culture. But at the same time, it is rooted very much in the emotional weight of everything that is happening to Jeffrey Wright's character to cause a lot of these things for him to the decisions that he makes. And I legitimately started crying very shortly into this movie. It was that good. And I highly, highly recommend that you check this one out because it really is that good. I think this did get some Oscar love. You know, I definitely think you should give this one a shot.
Yeah, I love Percival Everett's writing. I just have never gotten around to Erasure, which I think is what this is based off of, that novel. And I don't know. I love Jeffrey Wright. He could do no wrong. He could, you know, read the phone book and I would be really captivated by it. It's weird to see him perform so well with so many different directors. He was just with Wes Anderson in a couple of his films, and I did not think that that was going to work out well, and it worked out extremely well. And so I think he can do no wrong when he has a director in his corner who like knows how to use him. He's a really great actor who can fit into different roles. I've heard really great things about this movie. I just have not gotten around to see it. So
I was really, really surprised at how much I really liked this movie, because sometimes you see movies, and Dan, we're talking about the movie. My number 8 was American Fiction with Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown. I'm sure you know the movie, but I bet you haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. I knew it came out. I knew it got some Oscar buzz. I put it on my short list of things to watch and never got around to it.
So the reason I really like this too is because I waited for streaming for it, mostly because some of these movies you see and you're like, okay, that's like an Oscar bait movie. You know, like I'm not sure I'm going to love that. But I really, really did like this one. And Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown kind of bouncing off each other, and all of their scenes are very, very, very good. And the relationship that they established with Tracy Ellis Ross's character, she's the mother from Blackish, if either of you have seen that show, which is also very good. Their relationship as brother and sister. So the 3 actors here are all siblings. It was really interesting to see how they create the dynamic of the brother and sister with me having a sister. So it's a really, really quality movie, and I highly recommend you guys check it out.
Missed that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. My cord came unplugged, and I forgot my battery is terrible on this thing, so my bad. That's all right. So it's on to me, number 7. So number 7 is a movie I'm expecting to be on at least one of your list, but that is the Australian horror movie from Michael and Danny Filippo, Talk to Me, which is a movie about a bunch of kids that get together. They're basically doing a party game that's a possession. You grab this porcelain hand and you get possessed for a certain amount of time. And of course, them being kids and the lead actress's past trauma and guilt leads them to breaking the rules and leads into a really great, really intense and kind of brutal possession movie that was kind of a breath of fresh air, considering these guys are they're like YouTubers that made this movie, and that just blows my mind, and I highly respect it. Followed up with this year's Bring Her Back, which is a movie I have a hard time with. This one I enjoyed pretty much start to beginning. This is a movie I championed for a while. I tried to make everyone I know watch this movie when it came out, and it's just one I really, really like. So and the ending of this movie, I don't want to spoil it, but it gets you. It's like one of those like kind of like mic drop endings where you're like, oh, damn, okay. And so that's my number 7 is Talk to Me.
Talk to Me is fantastic. I saw this at the movies by myself. Like, that was one of those where I was kind of at the point with Sarah where she was like, yeah, you're going to see a horror movie? And I was like, yeah. She's like,
she was at her.
And I was like, yeah, you probably wouldn't like this one. She would not have liked this one. So I'm very glad that I didn't take her to it. But I went by myself, and it's really good.
This is on my list. I was going to watch it this year, and it slipped by. I wish I would have watched this over some of the other films that I chose, but
that's what happened.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about those.
Well, let me get on to my number 7 then. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I had a friend who we went to the movies together to go see this because we were pumped as all hell about it, and it did not disappoint. This is The Iron Claw, which is, in my opinion, probably, it didn't live up to the hype in many ways, but it lived up to the hype in a lot of others, right? This is Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White. It is really fantastic. The amount of just heart that they put into telling the story of the Von Erich family. Like, it's professional wrestlers, biographic sports drama. It's an excellent movie. And in my opinion, I think this is the best I've seen Jeremy Allen White act, period. And Zac Efron gives probably the best performance of his career. I didn't think I could see him reach this level, and he did. And it was just astonishing. It is an emotional journey. It's really tough. If you know anything about the Von Erich family, you know what's going to happen, and it's still tough. Even think about the amount of tragedy that goes through this family and the amount of like trauma that happens because the father's such a dick. It's just great. I loved this movie. I think when I look back on the year, I think this is the highlight of a individual performance for me, which is Zac Efron. This is just the best individual performance, I think, of any film that I watched that year. It was great.
I have seen this movie. This was one of my first off my list. It was going to be like my first honorable mention. It's very good, as you said. This was the movie that made me like kind of like how Foxcatcher changed my opinion on Channing Tatum. This movie changed my opinion on Zac Efron. I'm like, the dude can act, and like he puts it in, and like he definitely like his body is so jacked for this movie, and it's very good. It's very much a great watch. And like if you come in with like some knowledge of it, you, like as you said, you know the tragedy is coming, and you're like, ugh. But yeah, he's great. The whole cast is great.
It's tough the whole time, I think. That movie, there's very little joy until the end. And when it happens, you're like, thank God. There's just some sort of positivity here. But yeah.
I have not seen this movie, and I'm not aware of anything with the family. But I was aware that everybody has says it's a very sad movie. And yeah, I don't know. I've not been in the mood to be sad much lately. So
it's the holidays. Wait until like first of the year, then you'll be all right.
Yeah, wait till January when you're already sad anyways.
Oh yeah,
totally. When this is one to just add on in January.
When the seasonal affective disorder gets here, time for it.
Right. So my number 7 is one that easily could be much higher on this list if we were talking about the best movie of the year, but we're talking about my favorite. So it's Oppenheimer. So I really, really like this movie. It's not higher because it is mostly probably because it's just so long. So it doesn't have as much of a rewatchability factor. But with that being said, it is Christopher Nolan kind of firing on all cylinders. And I just really, really, really love his movies. I have the 4K edition of this. I got a brand new OLED TV, and I cannot wait to watch this on it, because I think it's going to be an entirely new experience. But this is Emily Blunt's one and only Oscar nomination.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, you're just kind of surprised to hear that. But I mean, I got to figure The Smashing Machine will be the one that she does win with.
At least get another nomination out of it.
At least get another nomination out of it. But she's just like one of those really, really reliable actors. Robert Downey Jr., phenomenal in this. Dan, did you finally watch this for this?
Yeah, and might as well just hop into it right now, because I think you looked at my list before we got started here. My number 6 movie is Oppenheimer.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
And
well, yeah, give me your take.
For everything you said, dude. The length of it put me off for so long. I'm like, I know I'm gonna like it. I know it's good, but my God, I just don't want to sit there and watch it. And to its credit,
it actually flies by.
Flies by. Like you're sitting there and like it's a 3-hour movie, but it doesn't stop. The pace is so like, and I don't know why I did that, but but it's great. Like it is really good. And you're sitting there just watching, like every actor he's coming on, like you're like, oh, there's that guy, and they come in and they just do the work. They just come in and steal any scene they're in. Josh Hartnett, David S. Malshin.
Josh Hartnett is so good in it, right?
Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, like you can go on and on. Like the cast is insane. The movie's great. It's a historical biopic. It's a figure we all should know more about that we don't. Like we're not taught Oppenheimer in school. Like, at least we weren't when I was there. And it's someone whose story we should have known. And I'm glad that we now have this movie to at least have some kind of idea of what he did. I'll tell you another thing that threw me off of this movie is I thought Einstein died in like the 20s. So when he's there, like in a couple scenes, I'm like, I thought he was alive at that point in time. And like, it's just one of those things like, your brain just for some reason didn't make that connection. But
isn't it so wild, like with things like that though? Like Picasso.
Yeah.
Like was alive
until like 78 or something,
ago.
right?
Like, yeah, like we think this dude's like, from the 1400s, like when you talk about him or learn about him in class, because you don't actually learn
No.
very much about a lot of these historical figures. You just learn about the things that they did. You learn about Picasso's paintings. You learn about Einstein's theory of relativity, but, not a lot of classes are about Einstein himself.
Right.
It's a really interesting
They want you to learn that little snippet that's going to be in the test that you have to select the right answer for. And nothing else.
Right.
But yeah, it surprised me how much momentum that movie had, and it carried it through. Yeah, it was a very good watch. I look forward to watching it more. But as you said, when I put it on my list, I couldn't move it any higher than this. But I was very impressed with it.
Yeah, this is my number 6 too, and I would say almost everything that you said is both of you have said is what I would say for it too. I think the structure of this film is like one of the most ambitious things that I've ever seen out of a filmmaker do, right? Like, of course, this is the guy who did Memento is going to structure this film this way, right? It is intense. It is a 3-hour marathon and a sprint at times. It feels, at the end of this movie, I don't know about you guys, but I felt exhausted. Like, I just witnessed so much. I'm tired. I am overwhelmed. I'm emotional because it's like you said, Christopher Nolan firing on all cylinders. The thing that really brings me back to this movie is just seeing the bylines through the Dark Knight trilogy all the way to this, right? Like, you can totally see how he used all of these like massive filmmaking ambitious takes in the Dark Knight trilogy and just honed them and refined them into this very intimate biopic of this person, but it still feels big and Batman-like, and it feels overwhelming. No wonder it won so many Oscars. And he does something with Cillian Murphy in this movie that I wish I could put into another term other than what Martin Scorsese does with De Niro. He turns Cillian Murphy into another human being and just like allows him to kind of bloom in this way. And it's a real joy to see. I think Robert Downey Jr.'s performance is great. I don't think it's as good as Cillian Murphy or however you pronounce it, but I really like his performance too. And the score is probably the thing that takes the cake for me. Like, this is a beautiful soundtrack. This movie, it's one of the best soundtracks in recent memory. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's Ludwig Göransson too, the guy that did the score for Sinners. If I'm not mistaken, he won an Oscar for this.
I would assume.
Yeah, I think so.
This one won like a bunch of Oscars, didn't it? Did it tie the record? Or is it close to it or something like that?
Best Picture, Director, Actor, and Supporting
That's
Actor,
it?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was nominated for a lot too, though.
Yeah.
No, that's a good haul.
It's a good haul. Like I said, Emily Blunt was nominated. She's really good in it too.
Yes. I think Florence Pugh is great in this too.
Yeah.
I mean,
she seems destined for
she'll
for
get her awards.
An award eventually.
I really hope that she teams up with Greta Gerwig again and does something there, because when I saw her in Little Women, I was like, this is like the person who's going to take you to the next level. But in this, she does really well too. I will agree with you guys on Josh Hartnett. I think Josh Hartnett is consistently underrated in everything. You look at him in his roles, and I think people are just like, oh, it's Josh Hartnett. Josh Hartnett is a great actor. And you put him with a director like this, it shows. He's great.
Yeah. Even like this year's Trap movie, he was the reason to watch that movie. He's so good in that.
He is the sole reason to watch.
He's the
that
sole
movie.
reason. Like he kills it. You're like, God, I wish this movie was better.
In it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the thing with that movie is he carries it, and it's so good. And if you just make a couple small tweaks to the movie, it will be good.
Yes.
And like, I don't hate Trap for what it's worth, but it takes some pretty big missteps in it, which is, I guess sort of the M. Night Shyamalan way.
It is. And it's an annoyance with the movie, we'll say. It's like you could see it being better, and he's just like, nah, we're gonna keep this mediocre as possible.
Yeah. Shyamalan needs a better editor, I think. Just a better editor.
The problem is he like owns his own studio.
I know.
And so he gets to do whatever he wants.
He's like, I think my daughter needs to sing for half this movie.
So the thing about it is I'm 100% on board with that.
I know.
Like, I'm completely fine with it being a concert and her being the singer and all of that. But when she comes in and starts acting is where you're like, okay,
enough.
She can't actually act is like the problem. Like he gives her a lot of
she becomes
screen
the
time
main
to
character
act.
at a certain point.
If she had stayed on the stage like singing the whole time, and like I don't think the movie ever should have left the concert venue. But anyways, we're getting off track.
Yeah, sorry. That's my fault.
You're up next, Pat.
Okay, my number 6 is The Killer from David Fincher.
I figured.
Have you guys seen this?
Yes. Yeah.
Dan, why did you figure?
You like David Fincher, you like Fassbender. I figured this would be on your list. I thought it'd be a little higher, actually.
It's very, very, very good. So I love David Fincher. I was a big fan of this movie. I think Michael Fassbender's phenomenal in it. Tilda Swinton is reliable as always. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross coming in with the score. They are always reliable, and they nail it here. I think this movie is really like one of the movies of David Fincher's where you just see that he's very much like honed in his craft. In every one of the scenes that happen in this, you can see very clearly that he is in control of every single thing on the screen, and he's really taking his time with it too. And I think that's the reason he's sticking over with Netflix, is because they're giving him the budget and the space to really do that, to go in and just really take his time with each and every scene. I'm surprised I don't hear more people talk about it.
This is the curse of Netflix, in my opinion. Like, I did not know about this movie until I think it was like late last year, because I just don't click on Netflix that much. And I didn't see it in the theater, and it just like was just on Netflix. And so that's the curse of the Netflix for me. I don't catch it. I really like this movie. It's not on my list, but I will say, I think this is David Fincher like reaching the next level. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I think, is his best directorial like thing. I really like Panic Room and Fight Club too. I think this is better than all of those, and better at times than Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I think there are moments in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo where I'm just like, nobody is doing anything what he's doing in that movie. It's really intense. It's like captivating. I think The Killer does some of that, but more consistently. I think this is a better movie. I think he's doing some really great stuff here. And Fassbender's awesome.
Fassbender's phenomenal.
This is another one of my honorable mentions. Just missed the list. Had a hard time keeping it off the list, to be honest with you. It's one I wrote down at first, and it was towards the bottom of the list, and then things kept moving around, and it popped off. And it didn't pop back on, but yeah, very good movie. Everything you said is accurate, Pat, and I honestly should go back and watch that one again. Maybe if I gave it another watch, it'd pop back on, but it's a tough list. This is a good year for movies.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, like you said, I'm a big David Fincher fan. And Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is one I struggled with initially, because I watched the original trilogy that they did that was, I don't know, Dutch or whatever. And I loved those movies. And the problem going into this was that you're seeing the same story being told, and it's somewhat a similar way, but I went back to that one just recently and was like, let me give this another try. And it really is. I don't even know how aware I was of David Fincher as a director when I first saw The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and like connected that he was the director of it, you know, because for what it's worth, that was a good amount of time ago. That was like 2010 or something when that came out. But yeah, I went back to it, and there's really so much to appreciate with that one. And Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score for that one too.
Yeah, it's an intense and beautiful movie, and some of the shots in that, I'm like, how did he think to do that? It's just amazing, that movie. And I think The Killer does that. There's some of those scenes in The Killer where I'm just like, he does something with wide angle shots, and specifically Michael Fassbender walking through a wide angle shot, because he looks so lanky and weird, and just putting those two things together is just really great. I love it. Yeah,
and that's one of the things that I've come to appreciate more and more is his filmmaking style, and seeing the end result of what you know was a ton of hard work, you know?
All right, we're cracking the top 5 now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we made it to the top 5.
All right, I'll kick this thing off. At number 5 for me, I have Sisu. Now, Sisu is a movie about a man. He's a Finnish prospector, and he discovers gold. And this is at the end of World War II. So in the process of taking the gold from where he discovered it to the bank in town, he crosses paths with a Nazi patrol who attempt to steal his gold. And it leads into this crazy revenge action thriller, classic one-man army type John Wick kind of style movie. Completely over the top. It goes off of the meaning of the word Sisu, which they make sure you know before the movie starts. But it means white-knuckled form of courage and unimaginable determination in the face of overwhelming odds. So they're like, this is what this guy's got, and this is why he's able to do this stuff, because he survives stuff he never should be able to survive. But it's one of those movies where you're just like, all right, whatever, go with it. And it's done. It's so over the top and so violent and so it just struck crash an itch. Like it's like John Wick, but he's fighting Nazis. And it's just one of those movies like I watched and I'm just like, you know what? I don't even need to like care that things don't make sense. It's just so much fun. Jorma Tomila is the star of the movie. Doesn't say a single word until the very end. And he's a silent protagonist, like a video game movie kind of. And it's a lot of fun. Have either of you caught this one?
I have not.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am aware of it. In the sequel.
The sequel just came out, yeah.
Like a week ago.
Yeah. Stephen Lang's the bad guy in that one. That's fun.
I like Stephen Lang.
All right. Well, yeah. So you guys should catch this. It's ridiculous, but yeah.
I've heard good things.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, me too. I have not picked up on this. Well, I'll stick with the foreign film kind of movement here. Godzilla -1 is my number 5. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I think I've seen every Godzilla film at least once, some of them more than I would like to say. This is my 3rd favorite Godzilla movie. And it's funny to go from Shin Godzilla to this, which Shin Godzilla is the best Godzilla movie, in my opinion. It's a fantastic movie. Godzilla -1 feels like what they were trying to do with Godzilla 54, the original one, and just make it a little bit modernized and make it a little bit more haunting. And it does it really well. If you guys haven't seen this, it takes place back in post-World War II Japan. It follows a guy who was a former kamikaze pilot, and he survives after like a really terrifying encounter with Godzilla. And so it's great. I mean, you guys are laughing. Have you seen this movie?
We'll be quiet for now. At least I will be.
Yeah. Dan and I are big fans of this movie.
Okay, so yeah, it's great.
We've actually, so I saw it at the theater, and Dan and I actually watched it together.
We watched the black and white version together, right?
Philly trip. No, we watched the color version because I had seen the black and white version in theaters, and nobody else didn't seem interested in the black and white version. But I love the black and white version. Honestly, I prefer it. So I actually, I have Godzilla -1 right here.
It's great.
Look at our handsome boy.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful box. And then I got this little guy right here.
You know who
He has a stance of fight me in that. I like it.
I have my guy here too. He just sits right on. He's the first figure on my shelf.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't have a Godzilla within reach, folks. I'm sorry.
I got that one. I got the original Godzilla from the Criterion Collection. And for you, Paul, I got the 4K edition of Shin Godzilla.
Those are my 3 favorite Godzilla movies you have right there.
Those are the only 3 I own on physical media, but I'm a huge fan of those.
Yeah. I'll keep my mouth shut for the rest of this. I have a lot more to say. I imagine it might be on somebody else's list.
I think you might be right.
Later
You
on.
might be right.
Yeah.
All right, so number 5 for me is John Wick 4. So I'm a huge fan of this movie. It's got some of the most impressive stunts ever put to film. It is a stunt feat to watch these things, and it's easily the best stunts of the year. And yeah, I mean, every single like sequence that happens in this is impressive and somewhat like overwhelming at times. Like they're just blowing your mind over and over again without much time to breathe. Like you say with the other movie, Paul, like it almost feels like exhausting getting to the end of it. And like by the end, like with the whole stair sequence that he's got to climb up and then he falls back down to the bottom, and you're like, oh my God, like, can he do this again? I don't know if I can even watch this again. But like the samurai sword scene at the beginning, there's so much to love about this movie, and it really is. It's just a great movie, great action movie.
I would agree. I wish that they're done with the series. This felt like a fitting end. I know there's a 5th coming out, but I loved this movie. It's not on my list, but it's fantastic. I imagine you're going to talk more about it too, Dan.
Yeah, but not quite yet. Not quite.
Okay.
So, we're on to number 4?
Yep. On to number 4.
All right. Number 4 for me will be a movie that I have gone back and forth on a bunch, but I rewatched it for this and I fell back in love with it. And that is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is a sequel to, of course, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, the Sony animation kind of choppily edited kind of, I don't know how to phrase it, but like the animation is not like crisp. It kind of like has cuts to it, which you've seen other movies pick up on, like the Ninja Turtles movie that came out this same year as the sequel has the same style to it. And that was also a fun watch, but didn't make the list. But yeah, it's it explores the full scope of Spider-Man and his history and all these iterations. Any little Easter egg you want to find from like being a Spider fan, it'll probably be in here at some point. They have the car, they have the dinosaur, they have Ben Reilly, they have everything you can want. And it sucks that it ended on a cliffhanger and that we are still waiting for the sequel. Still going to be waiting for a couple more years, apparently. It's a bummer. But it lost a lot of points for me for that for a while. But I went back and watched it, like I said, and fell back in love with it. And I want more of it. And I just really enjoyed it.
Good for you.
I am a huge Spider-Man fan. I think I love Spider-Man. I have a lot of problems with this movie, and the biggest one of all of them is that I just feel like it does not do what it sets out to do in the beginning of it. I feel like it is a really fun romp, but it doesn't really execute on all of the promises that the first one made, and now this one. And I don't know. I mean, I was really looking forward to the sequel to kind of close the loop, and now all of a sudden there's just a million more years that we have to wait. And so, like you said, it loses a bunch of points for me. The voice acting is great. The animation is wonderful. I think the first one is a great contained standalone film. I don't love this one as much.
Because it's half a movie.
I have watched it. I have watched it like 4 times. And to its credit, it is entertaining every single time.
Yeah. Dan knows how I feel.
I do, yeah. It needs to be a full story.
More in the Paul camp than the Dan camp.
And that's fine.
I got a lot of major problems with this movie. I don't know. I've only watched it once at this point, and I would much rather just go watch the first one at the end of the day.
Hey, I was with you, dude, and I went back and watched it, and like I said, whatever reason, this last watch made me realize how much I liked about it. But I completely agree. Like, don't do that. Give us full stories. We don't need sequels that aren't guaranteed. And that's not just for this.
Right.
That's for like the whole Hollywood machine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do you remember that when this movie came out, they were saying like, "Oh, next year we're gonna have the
we
next
filmed them
movie
back
out."
to back.
Yeah,
That was a lie.
Huge lie.
absolutely. And
Thanks, Sony.
now there's like, and now they're saying, "Oh, the schedules are conflicting for all of these people." Yeah, because they blew up.
Yeah.
Like, of course, every single one of these actors are giant actors.
And Haley
now.
Steinfeld is going to cost you more money now. You should have filmed back to
Why
back.
Exactly.
wouldn't they have just filmed them back to back? Like,
I don't know.
directors are getting fired from it. Like, strikes are happening. Conflict between the stars.
Yeah, makes no sense to me.
And I know exactly why, because Sony made it. And no matter how many things you put in their corner to try and set them up for victory, they're going to somehow turn it into a defeat.
No matter what you do to try and make them succeed, they will find a way to screw it up because they're Sony. That should be their byline.
Right.
100%.
But yeah, I still like the movie, so I'm gonna leave it there, number 4, and we'll move on.
Sorry, Dan.
It's all right. Supposed to be different, right?
Yeah. Our lists are very different. This is nice.
My turn. Well, okay. So my number 4.
It's Spider-Man. No.
No, yeah, exactly. This is a movie that I went to the theaters to go watch with my wife, who is a huge fan of Emma Stone, and this is Poor Things.
Okay.
I absolutely love Poor Things. I know people have mixed feelings about it. I've seen this year's Frankenstein movie. Poor Things is the better Frankenstein movie, in my opinion. This is just like exactly what I want from a Frankenstein story. Just like a magical, fantastical world with some grounded themes and acting. Emma Stone is fantastic in it. Mark Ruffalo does probably his best performance he's ever done, in my opinion. Willem Dafoe is hilarious and weird and great. And I don't necessarily think I love all of Yorgos Lanthimos. I think I pronounced that right. I don't love all of his works, but I really, really love this. And I think he does a really great job of putting Emma Stone in situations where she just kind of uses her talents to just a remarkable level. It's phenomenal. Yeah. Have you guys seen this?
Yeah.
I've not seen it. I've not seen this or the other one they did or
The Jesse Plemons one?
Begonia.
Begonia is great. I just saw Begonia. I don't think it's as good as Poor Things, but yeah.
You love to see when actors and directors come together and really
keep working together.
collaborate and put out all this just interesting yet different output together. I don't have any excuse for why I haven't seen this, because I should, and I've had opportunities to. Like, it's right there on streaming right now on a service that I have. No excuse. But it is impressive to see between the, I think, 3 movies that they've made together now, how different Emma Stone is in all 3 of them.
Yes. Yeah.
So it's really stretching her sort of capabilities. It's cool to see.
Yeah, I caught it once when it first came out around Oscar time, as I tried to watch all the Oscar movies before the awards show, which is insane. It doesn't really work out, but it's an attempt that is
Never
made.
works.
But I watched it then.
I can see Dan just painstakingly working his way through like documentary after
Yeah, oh my God. I get it. The dolphins were abused. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's a good movie. You should watch it again. I liked it. It didn't make my list, but I do enjoy it. I did enjoy it, I should say.
It's got amazing settings. Like the settings of this are just unbelievable. There's that ship that they're on. There's the one city that they go to. It's just like beautiful and imaginative and fun. I love it.
Cool. I'll have to add it to the list.
Add to the list.
All right. My number 4. My number 4 is one that I can guarantee is not going to be on either of your lists. And I knew this when I put it on it, but I'm a big fan of this movie. And that's When Evil Lurks.
Okay.
Did you think you might see this one?
I thought we were kind of past the point of it, but I get it.
I'm telling you, man, I've watched this movie many, many times at this point. I've watched this movie more than most of these other movies I've talked about. And I really think that one of the things that this did very well is, so it's a horror movie.
Oh, yeah.
It's a possession movie, but it really went out of its way to redefine what a possession movie could be. And it's not the first or the only movie to do some of these things, but it did them in such a unique way. It's an Argentinian film, and it's kind of post-apocalyptic, but it's like, hey, it's the apocalypse, but things, didn't really fall apart that much for us because we were on the outskirts of society anyways. And it's got some crazy good special effects in it. And I have rewatched it a bunch of times, and the brutality of it gets a little bit easier with every rewatch. I'll promise you that. Yeah. But it does really beat you down at the end in a way that horror movies don't. I don't see a horror movie that does that. There is a reason that the word evil is in the name of this movie. It is purely an evil horror movie. And some really brutal things do happen to it. And anybody that's considering watching it, just know this is another one that you feel like a little mentally exhausted at the end of it. And you just have to kind of be in the right mood for a horror movie that's going to do that to you. I will say, speaking of movies that do that, Bring Her Back does that to, I think, a much higher degree. I was so mentally exhausted at the end of that I don't know if I'll ever be able to watch that movie
That's
again.
fair.
This movie I watched a bunch of times now, and it gets easier each time.
That's why I said I struggled with that movie. But same thing with this one. This one was such a brutal watch, and I respect it. As you said, all the things you said are exactly true, but I just couldn't put it on my list because I don't know how much I want to revisit that movie. Maybe I should give it another watch, but I just remember finishing it with me and being like, my God, that was bleak.
Yeah. Have you seen this one, Paul? Do you know what it is?
Not at all. No, I'm looking it up right now. I'm like, this is something I'm going to add in. It seems right up my alley. It also seems terrifying.
It's possession as a pandemic, basically. Yeah. And it's Argentinian. There's subtitles. There's a vibe to the movie that you immediately pick up on in the first seconds of it. That you're like, it's this type of thing. So
yeah.
I'm a big fan.
It's a good one.
It's on my list now. This is tough.
Yeah. That movie, fair warning, the violence in it too. There's violence, the kids in that just, if you're not down for that, do not watch this movie. Because there's a couple scenes that are...
That's a good disclaimer.
But it is good. It is good. I can't say it's not good. All right. Moving on to number 3, are we?
You got it.
All right. Number 3 for me is John Wick Chapter 4.
Ooh,
you guys knew it was coming. I'm a huge fan of the John Wick films, and I think Paul touched on it. I wish the franchise would have just stopped here. It was perfect. It was 4 great movies. Leave it there. Go do something else. But, of course, they're not going to do that. They did the Ballerina movie, which is already... You're starting to see the diminishing returns on that. I know there's a TV show too. I don't care about that. I'll never care about that. Supposedly there's going to be a spin-off movie with I want to bring him up, Donnie Yen in this movie as the blind swordsman Kane. He's so good, and
he's so good.
I'm being kind of a, what's the word here, where you go back on your word. If he gets a spin-off movie, I'll watch the crap out of that. But yeah, he's great in this. Clancy Brown's in this. I love Clancy Brown. Ian McShane. It's just the great cast.
Lance
Reddick, rest in peace. And it scratched all my itches. It's a bit long. It's a bit of a longer movie, especially for a John Wick movie, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. I can't say enough good things about it. And I'm with Paul. I wish
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård, yeah.
I will say, so I've rewatched all of these John Wick movies multiple times now. I think this is the strongest villain.
Yeah.
Very much so. Yeah, 100%.
Best villain in all 4 movies.
Who the hell was even the villain set number 2? I can't remember. Some dude with a coin or something?
Yeah, it was the dude with the little thing, and he was like a French guy or something.
Some French, maybe. He's vaguely European. We don't know. But yeah, that's my number 3. John Wick Chapter 4. They didn't put like Parabellum or something weird as the subtitle. There's like, this is the 4th one. You know what this is.
Yeah, exactly. My number 3 is probably the movie that feels like it belongs in the 70s the most, and it's The Holdovers. The Holdovers is, I think, like, when I watched it, I knew it was an instant, like, holiday classic. Like, I'll watch this, and I have watched it every holiday since it came out, which is only, like, 2 times, but still, it's a lot.
It's in the mix.
And yeah, Paul Giamatti's excellent in it. Have you guys seen this movie? You've seen
I've seen it. I'm a big fan of it.
The Holdovers is an excellent movie. It's set in this like New England boarding school, and it follows this like really curmudgeon teacher and a student who just is like angsty, and it's just a classic. It's beautiful. It has a lot of like lovely holiday kind of themes. It's Alexander Payne, and so you know exactly what you're getting out of that movie, which is sincerity and a real, like, what I would kind of call like 1970s saccharine sweet sort of feel to it. And this feels just very of a time, pushed all the way into this era. It's wonderful. I don't have much to say other than everybody should see it. And it feels like a holiday classic. I don't know how else to put it other than it's just cemented as like a Christmas movie for me now. I'll watch it every year.
Yeah, Paul, you got all my my honorable mentions nailed on your list. Like, this is my number 1. This is my number 11. If we were doing 11, this would be number 11. I thoroughly enjoy this movie. I've always liked Paul Giamatti, and like this role was just like handcrafted for him. He kills it. I think he got an Oscar nomination for this. Don't quote me on that, but he's fantastic.
I believe so.
Yeah, as you said, it is one that I can see being in the rotation for Christmas movies. Unfortunately, my family has the same like 3 they have to watch every time, so getting them to watch anything new is a pain, but I'm gonna try. But yeah, this is a great movie, and I'm happy it made your list. It bummed me out that I knocked it off mine, but I'm glad it's on yours.
It's great. Pat, you got to see it. You should watch it.
You know, Sarah and I have been this close to watching it many, many times and just haven't.
Yeah, it's excellent. It does feel to me like there is something about it that I when I watched it at the time, I was like, oh, this feels like I've seen it before, very familiar. And I don't know if that's a detriment or a benefit, right? And it would be interesting to kind of explore that. Like, is it too familiar? Is it too comforting and safe? Does it play it too close to the vest? I don't know. I think it works because of that. But many people, I think my wife included, it worked to its detriment, right? It just felt too familiar, and it didn't feel like it really had anything new to say. And so, yeah, be interesting to hear what you think.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. I mean, I've been really into like 70s movies lately. So something told in that style, and I think would really resonate with me.
It's now officially Christmas time in my book.
Exactly.
That's true. We actually wrapped the Christmas tree.
Oh.
Right before, with the lights and everything, right before this.
Early. You're doing it quick.
It's not too early. It's December. We did a real Christmas tree this year, so we wanted to get it all decked out early.
I remember as a kid, pine trees would kill my allergies, but as I've gotten older, my allergies gotten better. I think I might try a real one at some point, but not this year. Now the first year in the house.
It's a whole experience.
Still.
My family had never done one before. We had a fake tree growing up, and after that, I've had a fake tree ever since. And we didn't bring it when we moved down to Virginia because we were like, we don't want to travel with this. And plus, Aldo had kind of chewed up a couple things on it, so it wasn't in the best shape. As he does. So we donated it before we came down here, and then I brought it up to Sarah. I was like, what do you think about doing a real tree this year? And she was like, yeah, let's do it. So we did it, and it was awesome. It's been great so far. Cool. Yeah.
Just reminded me I have an advent calendar downstairs that I haven't opened yet.
Nice. What's in it? Chocolate or?
Dice. Oh. Because I'm a nerd. Nice. I play Dungeons and Dragons, so yeah. I'm excited.
It's awesome.
That's great. All right, my number 3 is Talk to Me.
There it is. Okay, I thought it would be coming up.
You're like, where is this damn movie?
I thought maybe when Evil Lurks was your possession movie for the year.
No, you know, sometimes I do that where I'm like, oh, I can't have 2 possession movies on here. Well, not this time, year. Folks. This time, not only did I put both of them on here, I put them back to back. Because I really do think that these 2 movies really complement each other. And they came out not that far apart. I think like within months of each other. And I really do think they're different sides to the same coin of possession movies, telling their own unique take on that entire subgenre. And like you said, this came out of nowhere because the Philippou brothers, they were just YouTube guys, and nobody saw this coming. But I'm a huge fan of this movie. I've watched this movie so many damn times. It blows me away every time. Soundtrack is great to it. It put me on a couple Australian artists that I still listen to this day. The scene where like they're singing the French song because like one of them is possessed singing this French song. So good. I'm a big fan of this movie, and it made it all the way up here because it is a movie I watch fairly frequently. One of the things I've been trying to do with it over time is like kind of piece together, and I'm not quite there yet, but kind of piece together what is going on with this. Like there's very clearly one specific entity that is haunting her through the entire movie and waiting for its chance to swoop in. And they've said that they laid sort of the breadcrumbs to that part of the story. And that has been something I've been trying to sort of chip away at, fully understanding. I'm not quite there yet, though. But one of these days, we'll talk about it on here. And I'll go on a big soapbox about what I think the explanation is.
They said there's a sequel coming, right?
Yeah, there's a sequel coming. And they said there's a prequel coming that I think they've already shot, which is basically the dude at the beginning of the movie. They did a bunch of like social media style, like cell phone found footage stuff of his story. I think they said that's already shot, and I don't know what they're waiting for, but
I didn't know that. I knew there was a sequel, but that's cool that there's also potentially a third movie out there or coming out there. All right, so my penultimate movie then, number 2 for the year will be, and I know I'm a homer, and I'm part of the problem, but it's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And look, I know, it's the MCU, it's James Gunn, it's exactly what you expected, but in a good way, I think. And it was nice to see him come back, his swan song in the MCU, got to finish off his story. They didn't let him close it off completely because, of course, they won't, because Marvel. But he comes in and he just, this is Rocket's movie more than anything, I think, which really resonated with me, like just the way that they make you care about the CGI raccoon more than you ever have before. And like, there's some truly like heartbreaking stuff in there. Like the whole scene with like him and Lila and that whole friendship, and the whole scene with Sky when she says that crushed me. The High Evolutionary, I'm not even going to try to say that actor's name because I can't, but he's great in it. I think he's a good villain. Some people said he's too over the top. I loved it. I thought he was great. The soundtrack's fantastic, and it brought that group of characters like story to a close. I know it's not to a close; they'll be brought back, but I do think those 3 movies by themselves, I could watch those 3 movies over and over and over again. And I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad that he was able to make it after the whole firing and rehiring nonsense that happened.
Yeah, I don't love this movie as much as I love the first one. I think it's better than the second. I'm like 50-50 on it. Like, I could take it or leave it at times. There are parts of it that I really enjoy. I think some of Rocket's story is a little bit too like animal abusey for me. I can't watch it. It's like, it's too upsetting at times. And so I don't really love it in that way. The High Evolutionary, I'm on the end of that. It was way too much overacting. I think that was just like way too theater, too much of that.
I've heard that too.
But yeah, but it's still, I like James Gunn in this situation. I have problems with Superman, but I like him with these group of characters. I think he does a great job.
Yeah, I like this movie. I did like it a lot. Yeah, the animal abuse stuff is really hard to watch. So I've not actually watched it a second time because of that. Because it just
it is.
It like really brings me down in a way that I really don't like. You know, where like some things bring you down, and like, you know, like when Evil Lurks brings you down, but it's like, hey, that's fake, you know? But like animal abuse, like it like really makes me feel like sad. And like I got dogs and everything, so it really brings me down.
Right. And I get that. And like the whole like opening scene where they're listening to that acoustic version of Creep, and Rocket's like singing it and walking around. And it just kind of like sets the mark of like why he's so melancholy, is because of what happened to him. Which
Yeah.
I get it, like it's not easy to watch what they do to him in that movie. And I think James Gunn has that thing about like kind of like animal abuse, because doesn't like Crypto get stuff done to him in the Superman movie too? Maybe he needs to be put on some kind of watch list.
He's like kicked pretty hard and
Maybe we need to tell James Gunn to calm it down with the animal abuse. But yeah, I liked it a lot. So yeah, that's gonna stick in my number 2 is Guardians Volume 3.
The first F-bomb in the MCU is executed flawlessly.
It is, yeah. Oh, that scene is good. That scene is good with him and Nebula and trying to get in the car. Your instructions were very vague.
My number 2 has been talked about already, but I'll bring it up again. The Boy and the Heron.
Yep.
This is my favorite Miyazaki film. I've seen all the Miyazaki films. I think Spirited Away is a masterpiece. I think The Boy and the Heron is Miyazaki's later masterpiece. If this is the film that he goes out on, this is it. It's emotional, it's mature, it is very, very layered, it's visually stunning. The kind of scenes that he jumps through and all of the different worlds that he goes through, it's just amazing. And then he kind of puts himself in the movie as Mark Hamill's character at the end of it, who is just like, here's the seed of all of the next things. What are you going to do with it? And his like figurative like protege rejects it, and then this all falls apart.
Yeah.
And it really feels like Miyazaki coming to terms like, this is me not being able to hand off my stuff. I understand like no one might be able to do what I'm going to be able to do. So from that level, it's really wonderful. From a different level of like family and trying to search for like, what does family mean in this situation? How can I come to terms with grief and like all of these different things? It's phenomenal. It also is just like very Japanese, and in a way in which I don't really know many of the other Miyazaki Studio Ghibli films are. This feels uniquely Japanese in that, you know, there's this fire and it's like post-World War II. It feels very much like a conversation about what Japan is and how it's growing. It's a beautiful, wonderful movie. I would recommend it to everyone. And I think we've talked about like my top 10 favorite films. If we were talking about the best films I've ever seen, this is on that list of like, this is one of the best films I've ever seen. And it doesn't matter that it's animated. It just has some extremely wonderful shots. Excellent.
I hear that. Holly came in, the one scene with like the herons, kind of like the gray herons kind of like first revealed, and she had no context. She goes, what kind of an acid trip movie are you watching? I'm like, you don't know. Okay. You don't know. Also, I can't explain it.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, there are some things in that, like one of the first times where you hear Mark Hamill, you're like, oh, is that Mark Hamill? And then you're like, oh, that definitely is. And then when Willem Dafoe, who's this like, I think he's a pelican, and there's all these other pelicans, and he's like dying on this boat, and you're like, what the hell am I watching?
Yeah, what?
And also, how impactful is this that it's Willem Dafoe voicing this? The English voice cast is really great. The Japanese voice cast is great too, but the English voice cast, I think, brings something pretty unique here.
Yeah. Our boy Dan Stevens apparently had a small role as one of the parakeets, Pat.
Yeah.
Nice. We love Dan Stevens.
It's great.
It's so good. It's one I'm looking forward to watching more. I need to buy it. So the last time I watched it, I decided I'm going to buy that movie.
I'll have to check it out. All right. My number 2 also has a thing or two to do with Japan. It is Godzilla -1. This was almost my number 1, but simply I watched the other one more would be the main thing. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this movie. Sarah and I saw this at the theater together. We saw the black and white version, and for me, it really reminded me of my love for black and white monster movies of that era, of the 30s, 40s, 50s, and had me going back and watching the original Godzilla, and a lot of those just older black and white movies, like Them. You guys ever seen Them with the giant ants? Like movies like that, And I've watched the color version many times too, and I still like the black and white version because I think it tells the story just as well, but it gives it that old school vibe that I just really like. Now, with that being said, I haven't watched this on my new TV yet, and when I do that, I'm probably gonna do the color version just to see all of those explosions and everything in full 4K, so I'm excited about that. But this is a very good movie. It blows away all of the American Godzilla movies that have come out for the last 15 years, and for me, it's actually my second favorite Godzilla movie, Mine goes the original Godzilla, then this, then Shin Godzilla. I like all three a lot, though.
This movie, to me, still stands as like a feat of its own. Like, how did they do this with that little of a budget? Like, this is a great movie for not having really anything, and then all of a sudden being like, all right, like, let's just make this friggin' masterpiece in a Godzilla format. And you think of what, what's his name? Yoko Kanno, who did Shin Godzilla, the guy who did Evangelion. You think of like all of the things he was given in order to do it. This team, it feels like, was not given as much liberty and still put together this masterpiece of a movie.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really good. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Matter of fact, as we move into our number one movies, I'll kick it off by saying my number one movie from the year is Godzilla -1.
That's why I was smiling, because I was like, "There's no way this movie's not number one."
It was like one of those movies you go to the theater and you leave just feeling differently afterwards. You know, I loved Godzilla growing up. I enjoyed the American ones for as much as they're worth, but they always felt like an Americanized version. Like, that's the best way to put it. And this one just restored that, that old school, just loving like these giant monster movies. Like the scene where like his music first plays, like his classic theme, I was like, Daddy needed that in his life. and it's just fantastic. And like the big thing is, like, outside of like obviously you said the budget for this movie is so small compared to like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 or like John Wick 4, I'm sure. And they just do so much with it. And a big thing is the characters, like the Japanese human characters you care about, whereas like the American ones you don't give a flying rat's ass about. Sorry to be vulgar there for a second, Pat. I apologize. But you don't. And in this movie, you do. You care about each and every one of them. And so when something happens that impacts them, you're like, oh, crap, I care, as opposed to just like big lizard smash thing. That's all I care about. And that's just done so well. The whole thing's done so well. I've seen it black and white as well. Black and white is very good. And it has moved up my list each time I've seen it that way, but I do prefer the colored version. It's fantastic. I can't say enough about it. I love that movie.
I think that's the interesting thing about these Godzilla movies too, is that everybody agrees that they're great, and everybody has their own preferences with them, and they bring enough to the table with each one. Like, it's so interesting that like we're able to have that conversation even, you know, about like whether you prefer the black and white or the color version. Like, so many people out there like don't even watch the black and white versions of these things, you know? And so just the fact that we get to have that conversation and we get to have this other movie, Shin Godzilla, in the mix, that is just bringing such a unique perspective to the whole universe as well. And then, you know, how do these things relate back to the original and, you know, the other movies that are in there? I think it's a really great franchise that I'm just so surprised is still going. You know, obviously it's had its high points and its low points over the last 50 years, but the fact that at this moment in time it's still going so strong, and that we're getting another one of these next year.
Won its first Oscar.
Awesome.
Yeah. Deservedly so. It's a great movie. My number one is very different from everybody else's. I guarantee you, Pat, this is not your number one. My number one is Past Lives. It's Celine Song's directorial debut. It is probably, if you know anything about me, I really love science fiction movies, and my other love are walking, talking movies. The Before trilogy is one of my favorite trilogies of all time. That's with Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, Before Sunrise, Sunset, Midnight. And Past Lives feels like that movie, those three, somehow flipped and put into this just beautiful, magical kind of conversation between this person who leaves Korea and this person who stays behind. And it spans 24 years. It starts out in a childhood between these two people, and then they end up reconnecting later online and have like kind of a little bit of a relationship through social media. And then 12 years later, they end up meeting up in New York City and just having a conversation. And it doesn't sound like a lot, but the way in which that this movie is just not just shot, but written and subtly acted and paced, it is magical. It's one of the very few movies that I have actually sat down and watched and had to take like an hour afterwards to be like collecting myself. It's emotionally powerful. I think one of the things for me is Greta Lee's performance is unmatched, I think, of the year. This is my singular best female performance of this year. She does an exceptional job. All the shots of her just thinking and reacting and feeling are unbelievable. I love it. I think it got some nominations for Best Picture and Best Original Screenplay. It should have got nominations for Best Actress. It's just unbelievable. It still can't believe that this movie exists in many ways because it's just such a really sentimental and saccharine movie. It's wonderful. Have you guys seen this movie? I don't think so.
I have not seen this movie. I saw it when I was going through trying to get caught up in a couple of movies I missed for this list. I saw it very high up on everyone's list of the movies from the year. I haven't caught it yet. It's up there with also from this year a movie called, I don't want to, maybe it'd be Pat's number one, but I doubt it. But a movie called Anatomy of a Fall came out this year. That's also one I want to catch, but I haven't quite caught yet. So those two are my big, and the one I think might be Pat's number one, but we'll get there. I haven't.
There's not a world where you predict my number one.
You don't think so? All right, we'll see.
No. I feel like it's such a wild card choice.
Really? Okay.
I don't know.
Super Mario Brothers movie?
I would welcome you to try and guess it.
It'll be great if we all have three different number ones. But
I thought it was gonna be Killers of the Flower Moon, but apparently that's not gonna be it.
No, that's not it. I have still not watched that movie. I have still not slotted away 7 hours or whatever it is to watch that.
I mean,
because I know it's going to be hard. I know that it's not going to fly by like Oppenheimer. I know it's just going to be
it's going to be another Irishman where you're just going to come on now. Yeah.
The Irishman was so hard. And they're it's like that, but with another hour.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't watched it either. But I thought for some reason it would be yours.
I liked Killers of the Flower Moon. It is long and it is tough. This movie is not long and tough.
Oh my gosh. Do I know your number one? Now that I really think about it, do I know your number one?
You might. Were you just digging through things, trying to see what else we haven't talked about?
My honorable mentions and such. Throw one more guess out there. You tell me how wrong I am. Is it Mission Impossible? Oh,
no.
Okay. All right. Well, then the world is waiting for you.
So to close the loop on Paul's thing, no, I have not seen Past Lives. But Sarah and I literally talked about it the other day. I played the trailer for her, and she's like, "Oh, that looks really good, but I'm not in the mood for that right now." And it just passed us by, and we haven't gone back to it. And that's how so many of these things happen. It's "Oh, that looks really good, but not right now."
It is great. This is her directorial debut, Celine Song. She now has The Materialists, which just came out. It's on HBO streaming.
Mm-hmm.
That's with Chris Evans and
Pedro Pascal,
yeah.
Madam Web.
And it's fine. That movie isn't as good, but this is just a completely different level. It's really great.
Okay. I have to try to catch it.
Yeah. All right. So my number one.
Taylor Swift, The Eras Tour.
No, but I just saw a trailer for that. When I watched this today because I wanted to confirm to myself that I actually wanted to put it at number one.
Passages?
And I not only did I confirm, I reaffirmed that no, you're making the right choice. My number one is the Equalizer 3.
Okay, that same idea as Mission Impossible, but I forgot it was this year.
Yeah. So have you guys seen this movie?
I have not seen this movie.
Absolutely not. No.
Okay.
No way.
So I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm a huge, huge fan of this movie. Sarah jokes around about the fact that every couple months I bring up wanting to watch one of the Equalizer movies. And it's usually number 3 because I'm of the opinion that the third one is in fact the best one. So everybody knows what these are. And they're your generic sort of revenge action movies. But they're just so well executed. And at the end of the day, it's the simple fact that I just really love this movie. Now, I was flip-flopping this for literally weeks now between this and Godzilla -1, trying to decide which one I wanted to do. And I decided to go with this because I simply just watch it more often. And sometimes you just have those movies that you're like, hey, I really enjoy just watching this. And the thing about this one is, so for one, it reunites Denzel Washington with Dakota Fanning after they made Man on Fire. Now, Paul, have you seen Man on Fire?
I've seen Man on Fire, yes.
So, did you like Man on Fire?
I did like Man on Fire, yeah.
Okay, so you might dig this because it's very close to that vein, but it's directed by Antoine Fuqua. This is Denzel's 5th collaboration with Antoine Fuqua after Training Day and the other 2
Equalizer.
the Equalizer movies, and Magnificent Seven.
Oh.
Magnificent Seven being my least favorite of all of them. But yeah, so it reunites Washington and Fuqua. It reunites Dakota Fanning and Denzel Washington, and she's all grown up now, and she's actually like a government agent that he works with in this. So it's really cool that their career kind of came full circle of this. Now, to further contextualize this for you guys, I am a huge fan of Man on Fire. I watched that movie, I would venture to say, over 100 times. And
Really?
so, yes, like, I'm a huge fan of it. I had it on DVD. I've watched it so many times. And I'm also a huge Denzel Washington fan. And I'm telling you, he brings such an emotional weight to this story that brings it, to me, above John Wick 4 because of the fact that Denzel Washington just really adds the emotionalness to it. Now, also, there's the fact that John Wick 4 is very long, and this is a nice crisp hour and 49 minutes. So that brings that rewatchability up a considerable amount, too. Now, what this movie is about is basically Denzel Washington goes over to Italy and he murders an entire house full of like crime boss people, but there's a kid there and he doesn't kill the kid, and the kid shoots him in the back, and he escapes. And then basically some Italian guy finds him and brings him in and starts nursing him back to health. While he's doing that, he's, kind of hobbling around this small Italian community, and he really gets to know the locals, and he finds this peace in his life that he has not had over the course of all of these Equalizer movies. And you kind of get that vibe too of like, he lived a life similar to Creasy in Man on Fire and all these other movies. And so this, like, he's finally found like the peace he wants in his life. And then a whole nother organized crime comes into this community. He finds that they're shaking people down and doing this, that, and the other thing. Guy doesn't pay him enough, burns his shop down, stuff like that. So basically Washington's like, hey, I'm meant to be here, and I'm going to tear your entire organization down to the ground. And he does. But just the way they tell this story, I mean, there's a scene in it where they 100% turn Denzel Washington's character for 2 scenes of this movie into a horror movie character. Because he's walking around this mansion, like, I swear to God, it shows first-person view, him kill like 15 dudes in a row, and he's grabbing like meat cleavers and bashing them in the face. He's stabbing dudes, and towards the end of the movie, there's one scene where the camera pans past a chair, and when it pans past, you see Denzel Washington standing behind him, but you only see his silhouette. And I swear to God, it looked just like Jason from Friday the 13th. And then he stabs the dude in the back with a fire poker.
Sounds like it.
Like, it's literally horror movie stuff. But when it's not that, it's like the polar opposite. It's filmed on location in Italy. The cinematography, the set design, all of it's beautiful. And the score in it is really, really solid as well. So that's my whole soapbox on this movie. I absolutely love it, and it's my number one.
Like what you like,
Crazy,
man.
I love it. That's crazy to me, though. Equalizer 3. You and my dad have a lot to talk about. He loves those Equalizer movies to death.
I didn't think it was 2023. Yeah. I thought for sure it was like earlier than that.
Nope, 2023.
But I was close with the Mission Possible because I know you like those movies a lot too.
I do, and you just never know what you're going to be in the mood for in one of these lists. And like I said, it was flip-flopping between this and Godzilla. But I've watched, in the last 2 years, I'd venture to say I've probably watched this movie like 8 times.
Have you ever seen the Jet Li movie Unleashed?
I have.
Kind of the same
Unleashed.
idea. Like he's
awesome.
this violent guy, finds home, and then when the violence comes back to him, he has to respond to it.
Yeah.
So similar kind of vibe.
Well, in this too, the score highlights like a sinisterness to him, where you've got scenes where it's like the somber Denzel Washington, the uncle or the grandfather or whatever. But then like the score, you just hear it, like it gets unsettling at certain points where it's like, hey, there's a darkness brewing in him, and it's got to get out, and these Italian mobsters are the guys that are going to get the brunt of it. And it's cool too because all the actors are Italian too, so it really feels like it's in Italy. But I'll tell you, man, watching this on 4K, it's so impressive the way every one of these scenes looks and how detailed they are. Like, the set design's absolutely beautiful in this thing. So yes, it is like sort of a generic action thriller, but I swear to God, it's much more than that too.
I need to watch it. I haven't watched the last 2 Equalizers. I'm behind. I need to watch both of them.
Yeah, but in all honesty, the writer comes up with some unique ways to sort of connect it back to the first two, but each one is its own standalone story.
Very cool. I just didn't realize that was a movie from this year, so I think I would have been able to get that.
We really did have different movies.
That's good.
These are very different lists. Yeah.
And I like the fact that like some of my honorable mentions that killed me to leave off, you had on yours, Paul. That makes me happy. Like the Holdovers, like that one actually hurt me to leave off the list, but I'm glad that you got to talk about it.
Yeah, I loved that movie
So
too. It was great.
Did you guys got any honorable mentions that weren't brought up?
Yeah, like this year had a few good things horror movie wise. I mean, Megan came out this year. That was a dumb fun movie. No One Will Save You came out to Hulu, which is a home invasion alien movie that I love and I didn't know anything about until I watched it that year. That I think is still very good. I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but yeah, those two popped in my head immediately.
Yeah, I had Somebody I Used to Know, which is Alison Brie and Dave Franco's movie. It's a little indie film. That was great. I really enjoyed that. You Hurt My Feelings, which was, what's her name? Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Yeah, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. That was one of her films. She did a great job in that. Asteroid City.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't my favorite Wes Anderson,
But good.
but it was a good Wes Anderson. I think it was pretty neat. It's also a Wes Anderson that I do not think Tom Hanks and Wes Anderson mesh. And that is the first performance, I think, where Tom Hanks is in it. And I think that is really like eye-opening to me that there's a director that doesn't really work with Tom Hanks. Barbie, I liked.
Fun.
I thought it was fun. It's not going to make my top 10. The one that was left right off of this was Dream Scenario. I love
I was
Dream
going to
Scenario.
ask about that.
Yeah, Dream Scenario was awesome. Nick Cage at I think his late stage career revitalization is going strong, and this and Super Mario movie were bouncing back and forth for number 10. And I just took Super Mario.
And that's a fun movie. That's completely understandable. I mentioned the Ninja Turtles movie came out this year. That was a fun time.
Yeah.
I liked the Ninja Turtles movie a lot. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score for that one as well.
He was making his money, man. He's making his money.
Yeah.
Last one I want to throw out there, I don't know if you were going to mention it, Pat, but Creed 3 came out this year, and I liked the Creed trilogy quite a bit, and I like the third one, too.
I've actually only seen the first, and I liked it a lot. Really liked the first one, but I've not seen
You should
the
catch
second
them. They're
two.
good.
I know that Michael B. Jordan directed the third one.
It's got Jonathan Majors before he got canceled in it, too.
He is great in that movie. He's really good.
That's a good one, too, yeah. So, yeah, a lot of good movies this year. A lot of good horror. Like, I think this was a very strong year for horror.
So, just to kind of run down a couple of these ones that I had here. My number 15 on my list was Extraction 2.
Okay. Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, I liked that one a lot. It's one where, I don't even remember what the movie's about, but once again, the action is done very well. It's got a very long one-shot sequence towards the beginning in the prison that I really think makes that movie. I think the Extraction movies are the best that Joe and Anthony Russo have produced since they went and started their company there. None of their stuff has really been as good as this. The Gray Man is totally bland.
It's very great.
VHS 85 was my number 14. I liked that anthology a lot.
Did come out.
Number 13, I had The Pope's Exorcist.
That's fun.
The Pope's Exorcist is a just completely absurd movie. It's another exorcism movie, but it's held 100% on Russell Crowe's extremely ridiculous performance in it and him riding around on a moped in Italy.
That'll always be in my head.
It's just a lot of fun.
That'll always be in my head.
You
Him
know?
and his Pope, and him and his religious outfit on a scooter riding through the Italian countryside. I will never get rid of that image. I'm glad I have it in my head because it's.
Yeah.
How do you?
Didn't you and I watch
We
that
did,
together?
Yeah. We both. I think we might
that's
have rewound it at that point to watch that again.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of fun. Another one I had is Tetris with Taron Egerton. You guys seen that?
Yes, that is good too.
Did see that. That was also on my list. I liked it. I wish that came out not on Apple TV.
Yeah.
Because it took me a really long time to actually see it because it was just stuck on a platform I don't have access to.
Yeah. I was really looking forward to that one because I watched a 28-minute YouTube documentary on the real story, and it's such a wild story that's not that different than the
No.
movie.
Yeah.
Like, they take some liberties, but like a lot of it is actually pretty accurate as to how ridiculous that entire situation with Tetris was. And I'm a big fan of that because I'm a big fan of Tetris, the game. Sarah's watched me play Tetris before, and she's like, "You're an absolute maniac playing this right now." Like, it's just like something she couldn't even understand.
Filling those lines out and seeing them disappear, that's just satisfying.
Oddly satisfying, yes. Number 11 for me, I had The Boogeyman, the Stephen King adaptation on
That's
Hulu.
right, that came out this year.
Really big fan of that movie. And one that was high on my list, like, I don't know, like number 20 or something. Yeah, number 20 exactly, was It Lives Inside, which was like an Indian, I think, horror movie that had, I think it got like a limited release. Not a lot happened with it, but I was surprisingly happy with that movie.
I don't think I know that one.
You know, obviously it was pretty tucked down my list, but I thought it was at least worth bringing up because nobody had mentioned it.
I think there was also another movie that was fairly big at the time, and I don't think any of us mentioned it, but Air, the movie about like Nike recruiting Michael Jordan. I heard that's good. I haven't seen it, but I wanted to give it a shout. I think it's probably worth a watch. I just haven't caught it yet.
It was pretty good. I think there's another basketball movie that came out this year too. I think Shooting Stars, which is the LeBron James biopic. I think that came out too. And that was pretty good. That has one of the kids from Stranger Things in it.
Dan, I'll tell you, I outlined all of my movies for the year, and Mission Impossible was number 39.
Really? Okay. That's low.
And that's funny. I mean, some of these, like, I look at it and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense because I have Spider-Man ahead of that. That's 37. But I do have Spider-Man ahead of Quantumania, too. That was 38. I was surprised I didn't hear you mention Woman of the Year, Dan.
I like that movie quite a bit. I looked at that one, thought about it, but it's good, but not quite top 10. If we did the top, as you've done there. But if I had to do like my top 20, it'd definitely be somewhere in the top, probably 10 to 15 range, to be honest with you. But it's a very good movie, very enjoyable.
Yeah. My least favorite movie of this year was The Flash. That's all the way dumped down at the bottom.
Yeah, as deservedly so.
Aquaman 2 was right ahead of it.
I like that one, though, for what it is.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not saying it's great, but I'm saying it was kind of entertaining. The Flash, I love the character, and I'm annoyed that he got stuck with that actor in that movie.
Yeah. A Knock at the Cabin came out this year.
Okay. Tom loves that movie. I didn't love it.
Cocaine Bear.
Oh, Cocaine Bear. That's a dumb fun time if you want to just turn your brain off for a couple hours. Not even a couple hours, an hour and a half probably.
Yeah. All right. I think that is a good place to wrap up for the week. Anybody got anything else?
No. I'm hoping that we get a couple big movie trailers coming in this next couple weeks for the upcoming year. Because you got to figure they're going to be dropping to get us hyped for the next year.
Hopefully, yeah. There hasn't been too much going on.
It's been kind of a
MCU stuff coming out. I'm hoping for a Dune Part 3 trailer sometime soon. So
Dune, Doomsday. I think Doomsday is Christmas time next year, though, so we might not get one of those, which is annoying.
Yeah, I bet we don't get one of those till, I don't know, spring, summer.
There was some big movie, though. Those maybe The Odyssey. Let's get one of those trailers out.
That
might bigger trailer. Yeah. Because I think there was a teaser one, kind of, right?
Yeah, so there was like a teaser thing, and apparently they're also going to show like 5 minutes of it before this series of like 70 millimeter screenings they're doing of like One Battle After Another and Sinners and something else. And so people that go and see those at the 70 millimeter theaters are going to get to watch 5 minutes of it.
Cool.
So that's crazy.
I cannot wait to go see One Battle After Another again.
You still haven't seen it?
I've seen it.
Again.
Yeah. I've seen it multiple times. I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
I bought the DVD thinking I could watch it, Blu-ray, I mean to say, and then Amazon's like, oh, we'll ship it mid-January now. I'm like, that's weird because he told me it was going to be released like beginning of November. Okay, fine.
Welcome to physical media. They do that stuff all the time. I mean, it might show up early. They do all the time. It's so inconsistent.
Sounds like Amazon.
I once ordered the 4K edition of 7, and they pushed out the release date of it by over a year.
Crazy.
And then eventually they just canceled it altogether and then re-released it, and I just bought that. It was the wildest thing. Like they completely redesigned the entire thing because apparently David Fincher came in and was like, "Listen, whoever's doing this sucks, and I'm gonna do the 4K edition myself.
I'll do it myself."
Speaking of which, if you guys haven't yet, go on Netflix, watch Train Dreams.
Train Dreams?
Excellent. Yes. Excellent movie. Came out this year. Can't think of the guy's name. Joel Edgerton.
Yep.
Just really excellent movie. I think probably the best performance from Joel Edgerton, and he's done some really great performances. That's an excellent movie. Well worth it.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah.
All right. Let's wrap up here.
Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for catching another episode of the Bark Knight Podcast. Join us next week for another Blind Spots episode, this time featuring Insidious and a mystery movie that we haven't decided yet.
Sisu.
Follow, subscribe, and leave a rating to help keep the reels turning, and visit barknightmedia.com to find the latest episodes, blog articles, and to sign up for our newsletter. Until next time, keep celebrating great stories on and off the screen.